welcome guys to a show Sunday. We didn't have one last month because we went through all the Disney movies and stuff, but this month we do for the month of June. And as stated, it's a childhood favorite of mine. It's Inuyasha.
I do not understand how you could watch this as a child. Because at first I was like, okay, I mean, you have like the centipede lady, she's like rather creepy, so okay, sure, I get it. But then she's like,
and then it gets worse.
She's like cut in half, and then there's like the people with like the hair that are like people. Literally, they say that like these people like their heads missing, and I'm just like, Ara, what is wrong with you?
I wish I had an answer, but I really don't. I somehow was able to watch this, but I freaked out at Naruto, which, I mean, doesn't even have half of this stuff.
No.
Last in the first, 90 episodes, that's all I watched. But
not in part one. I mean, I didn't finish all of Naruto, so I can't say for the rest of it, but yeah, there wasn't, horrific imagery, I guess?
Yeah, even when I was watching it now, I was like, this is all pretty messed up. Why aren't I getting affected by this? I don't have an answer. I wish I had an answer, but I don't have an answer. But, I guess I should let you guys talk first, though, because this is the second time you're seeing this, and Valen, this is the first time you're seeing this.
Well, the thing is that I didn't finish Inuyasha because I started it in undergrad, but undergrad got really crazy, so I think I only finished, if we count all of the episodes, half of it. But I never finished the second half of it, so, yeah, and then I forgot how horrific the first few episodes are, and I was like, damn.
Not that the rest of the series gets less.
Oh no, it does not get any better.
No.
I think at times it gets worse, because I know the most horrific episode is early, but it hasn't happened yet. It's the one with the mask.
Oh yeah,
that was fucked up.
Yeah, that one was pretty. Yeah. I think the one that I remember that freaked me out the most as a kid, despite all this other stuff.
As a kid.
Yeah. was the one, it's way later, but it involves a moth man.
Oh yeah, I remember that one too.
Yeah, that one freaked me out a lot.
That one's also pretty fucked up.
Yeah. But in any case, how else do you find it?
Well, I remembered my love of Kagome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am a Kagome fan. Kikyo can die. I hate her. But whatever, it's fine.
I also didn't realize how much the music made me so nostalgic for it too. It's even the little things. At first there was the opening song, and then there's the music that plays during the episode title screen and everything. I was like, I remember all of these things. It makes me so nostalgic. Especially since apparently it's been almost I watched it in 2004 or something, so that's 17 years ago when I first saw this. So I was like, oh. I had the DVD for I think the first 50 episodes or something, but I did finish the series once by ways of the internet. And I watched both the dub and the sub. So yeah, it's a very nostalgic series for me. I also enjoy how the backgrounds are painted too, because this is still when it's not quite, it's still cell shading, so it's not quite the awkward, You know, the awkward stage where they went from like
Oh yeah,
traditional to
in the mid 2000s.
yeah, like Fruits Basket. I think is a good like the first Studio Bones.
The original Fruits Basket was not well.
Great.
Well, it was also animated by Studio Dean, so yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Valen, what did you think?
This show is very 90s, but not in a bad way. Because, like, in terms of, like, the characterization, like, the dialogue, it very much feels like it's, like, from, you know, I guess, like, I think the dub was at least, like, 2000 or something.
Yeah.
So
I think
basically, like, late 90s. And, just for example, I have, well, you know, whenever I'm now going to watch any sort of 90s anime, I'm going to immediately compare it to Evangelion, and I have, like, for me, the 90s-ness of Evangelion is, like, kind of a problem. But here, it's not a problem, because I think the tone fits this better, where, like, the tone in general is kind of just a bit goofier.
Yeah.
Especially with the dialogue, and that makes it, like, funnier. Like, honestly, like, the dub is, like, a little bit awkward. There are definitely moments where, like, sentences are kind of structured weirdly, stuff like that. But a lot of times, like, it makes it funny. So it's like, and there's sometimes where it's like, was that line supposed to be funny, or I don't know. But
yeah, some of the puns and references that Kagome can make in the dub are really funny.
Yeah, like the Kansas one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like the general sort of expressions, just sort of what happens, and I don't know. It's just like there's this weird sort of undercurrent of like, did they mean that to be funny? I don't know, but it works overall, I think, and yeah, I like how, yeah, like Kagome definitely like actually does stuff in the story, because I feel like this could be really easily have been like, oh, Inuyasha just like saves the day every time, and it's like, no, that's not what happens.
And that's why I love her, because she's so capable, even though she's terrified.
Yeah, and also, something that I thought was nice, and I hope this is explored more in the future, is that they actually like go back to the real world a little bit, because I feel like in almost all of these things where it's like, oh, the person gets, you know, whisked off to a magical land, and it's like they're just there for the rest of the story, right? And so this is like, oh, is there going to be some sort of like interconnectivity now, going back and forth, maybe? I presume it'll be like still vast majority of it's in sort of the kind of fantasy world, but like it'd be nice, but it's the fact that there's at least some in the real world. Like, oh, okay, I'll take it. So that's kind of a nice thing.
I can say that there are parts that take place in the real world,
like the aforementioned Mask episode.
Yeah, the Mask episode too.
That's actually what makes it more fucked up.
I assume it's like what, 80-20, or maybe even like fantasy world sort of.
Probably more fantasy world. I know, like, this is still the time when there were filler episodes and stuff, so whenever they needed filler episodes, they usually did it in the modern world.
Okay.
But I guess the thing is that even though you know there are filler episodes, they're still formatted in a way where it still keeps the tone of the show, so it's still hilarious, and you don't really care that they're filler episodes. So it's the best kind of filler.
Filler is not inherently bad as long as it's like you know, you like what's going on. You could like the characters. Maybe there's stuff that can be explored in sort of a fillery way that doesn't really fit into the overall narrative. So like, yeah, there's definitely been like shows that I've watched where again a quote unquote filler episode is a really episode, but yeah, so that's good that they keep that up with Essence there, and yeah, it was enjoyable and entertaining. I don't like think it's amazing. Granted, again, 7 episodes in, you're probably not going to think a show is amazing, especially because there's what did I see, 167 episodes. So you know, but yeah, it's I enjoyed it. It's good. Just definitely better first impression. Well, not gonna say first impression, but definitely I'm into this more. Other again, earlier anime stuff that I have seen.
Yay! I think when you brought up the tone and stuff, I think the tone might actually be the real reason why maybe it flew over my head about all the other stuff.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, when I think of like a show that does like comedy with a different setting well, I think of Inuyasha, because it's so seamless. I don't know. It just feels like it's supposed to be like that.
Yeah, like the people act normally and the comedy doesn't seem like forced or shooting in. And yeah, I hope that we can watch more episodes because there's so many more characters.
Oh, something I realized, because the first time I watched this, it was the sub version. In the dub, the like Kaede and the other random like villagers, they speak in old timely.
Yeah, I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
it's
I
kinda
hadn't
weird.
watched the dub in so long, so when they were speaking, I was like, oh, that's an interesting detail they put.
It's so funny because Inuyasha doesn't talk like that.
Inuyasha's like a dude bro.
But Shishomaru like tries to talk like that, and I'm like, how do all the other like party members talk in this place? Because
They also talk like Inuyasha. At least from what I can remember, that's how they talk.
so as long as they're a main character, they won't talk like that.
Well,
Okay.
I think after they leave the village, they also, like, everyone starts talking normally too. So it's just Kaede and these villagers, really.
Well, there is something that apparently you guys brought up at the end of the last thing that I want some tea to be spilled, basically.
We can't tell you about the tea.
Why not?
Because you haven't met, like, the character which the tea surrounds, so...
But you gotta tell me something. Come on.
I might tell you afterwards.
No, you can't tell him. Otherwise, it's gonna ruin everything else.
Why?
Because you gotta watch. We can continue watching it if you want, but you can't. Not until that character is introduced. Then we can. Basically, the thing that Valen is talking about is there was a sequel that aired for Inuyasha, like a long after the actual show ended and stuff. I'm not talking about the final act. I'm talking about the Yasha Princess. Or I don't even remember what the title of the sequel is, and I don't care to learn what the title of the sequel is. But basically, they did something in that I am not a fan of for very obvious reasons, and I'll just leave it at that, I guess. I'll just say that there's a very weird pairing that was not in the original series, but they made it a thing in the sequel series, and it's very icky. That's all I'm going to say about it.
I'm trying to see. I think we... Yeah, okay. We only meet this person in season 2.
Alan's giving a pouty face.
I wanted tea.
The tea.
I wanted it spilled on the floor.
No.
Well, except there's carpet here. I don't want to clean that up. But
You want to spill it on your carpet?
You gotta promise me that you're not gonna look it up. You gotta watch everything first.
Why do you do this?
You didn't let us see.
Well, then you shouldn't have brought it up in the first place. Now I'm curious. Your fault, obviously. I'm gonna blame it on you, even though I have agency in my own actions. But I'm gonna blame it on you anyway.
You have agency.
So, Valen, are you gonna continue watching it?
Let me put this way. I have like a bunch of other stuff that I still have to catch up on that I'm doing on my own. But like, I wouldn't be if we have some time to do it or whatever. I would not be against it. So.
Okay. Well, you
I'm not going to promise that I will actively seek it out myself, but because I don't think I can do that. But I would not be against it.
I guess if we do watch it together, are we gonna I guess we have to continue the dub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the humor is like kind of works better if the fact that it's like a dub, because I feel like, you know, I don't know, the delivery of the lines, something that would be kind of lost. Titled.
And then when we watch the episode where the character's introduced, then I will spill the tea for you, Valen. I promise.
Okay.
I won't forget you like how Inuyasha almost forgot about Kaede in the forest.
Yeah, when did they get Kaede?
Who knows?
Oh yeah, they never showed that.
They just dug her up off screen.
I imagine probably like my headcanon is that Kagome was probably like, "Where's Kaede?" And Inuyasha's just like, "I don't know, buried in the forest somewhere." And she's like, "What?" And probably just like, you probably found him and dug him up, dug her up.
Well, she had to say sit first, and then she.
Sit, boy. Now bring me to her.
Fetch.
Fetch. Fetch Kaede.
I would also say that I love their dynamic too.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of things try to do like this thing where, oh my god, they hate each other. That means that they love each other and stuff, but they don't like let it grow, I guess. Here they have like 167 episodes to let it grow.
I love how they bicker.
Yeah.
Hey, well, on.
I guess so. Now we're starting a new cycle.
New cycle, and I know
It's been so long.
I know it feels like it's been so long, but it hasn't been that long really. But the last film we saw the last cycle was Harriet. That was a random pick, and we randomized the replacement to be Roma, which is the movie by Alfonso Cuarón, which like won a bunch of Oscars and also is fairly really depressing. So yay!
Yeah, I was about to say, it won a bunch of Oscars and it's extremely depressing.
Let's see if that's the first one we
Who knows? I don't know what I want. And
Oh, this is a very relevant because I'm taking summer classes and my professor was actually talking about Marshall, like both Marshall the movie and the real Thurgood Marshall, and I learned a few things that we might see in the movie.
Okay.
Oh, cool. So you can give us some background info.
Yeah, I guess slight background information for viewers. This is about Thurgood Marshall, the one of the Supreme Court justices, and Chadwick Boseman is in it, so we'll try not to be devastated. But yeah, I didn't expect this to be so early, because this was the second to last movie that was put back, I think.
So. It was definitely recent.
Well, we're going from the feudal era to the now era.
Yeah, we went from we just went from one historical drama to another. Okay, well, finally something normal.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh,
maybe.
boy. Okay. Yeah, maybe there's the demons in another realm in this movie now. Well, see you next week for that, I guess.
Bye.
Bye.